Hey, ba-da-da-da-da-da. Ladies and gentlemen, KocoSports.com proudly presents Wrestle AM. It's half wrestling show, half morning show, pretty much all BS. And of course, you got yours truly, the sexiest man on all internet wrestling radio. That's right, Boom Boom here, shaking the room live from the RVA, Richmond, Virginia. Well, kids, it's take two, my second effort to review the March 2nd edition of WWE NXT. Of course, this show was the final show taped by final of the TV taping they did at the University of Central Florida in Orlando. Now, of course, the first question I'm going to ask you, and of course, it's the first question that we ask each and every show that we do. What do you give tonight's show? Do you give it a win, a loss, or a tie? So over here in the comments section, down here in the doodly-doo, once the show is posted, what do you get tonight's show? Win, loss, or tie? To be honest, Infantry, this show really wasn't that good. I know I caught some flack last week. Coco said it was going SAWFT soft on NXT because I gave it like a weak win. This week, kids, I really can't defend. I really can't defend this show. This thing was more than a month out of date. All the surprises were pretty much blown. NXT is completely out of the rhythm. I think the worst thing that's happened with this promotion was the fact that after their last special, coming out of Thanksgiving, going into December, they had a pretty good. They had ending with NXT Takeover London. They did some shows there, taped some shows there, and then they spent I believe it was the last week of December and the first couple of weeks of January doing best ofs because they were for one down at Full Sail and then also at UCF doing extensive TV tapings because they're having to go out and tour more. There's such a huge demand for the product. They're spending less time at Full Sail and more time out on the road, so they had to tape a bunch of stuff in advance, and it got them out of their rhythm. Now, I'm not making excuses for NXT. Props to them for responding to consumer demand because that's who we are. It's what we demanded, and maybe this is a price, but I think it got them out of their rhythm. And what I'm hoping is this upcoming special that they're having, Roadblock from Toronto, hopefully that'll be able to give them some kind of momentum going to the NXT special before Mania. And then I think once that's over, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that NXT will be able to get back into their normal rhythm. But this show, I'm going to give it an extremely weak tie. Say right here, here's loss, here's tie, here's the dividing line. This show is actually teetering right now on it. I mean, it's leaning more towards, the loss side, but this is where it's teetering. I mean, it's just right there on that line. It was very difficult for me to defend this. So I know Coco, gave me a lot of flack last week, but, Coco, I'm sorry. I guess maybe your negativity wore off on me. I really can't defend this one here. So, but let me explain to you why. First match out the gate was a tag team match. You've got the so-called newly turned, heels, the Vaudevillains, taking on the tag team of Hugo, Knox, and Tucker Knight. I didn't like this match, and let me tell you why. It had nothing necessarily to do with the match itself. It's just that the Vaudevillains are supposed to be that. They're supposed to be villains. And how do we know that they're supposed to be villains? Because for several weeks they ran little vignettes. It was the Vaudevillains. There was all smiling. They were playing their intro. Gather around, everyone, and witness the debonair devastation of such exquisite sophistication. And then they slowed down the music, and then they smile. They got a close shot of their mouths, and they was going from a smile to a frown. And okay, so I guess that means they're fucking bad guys now. Well, here's the problem with that. They don't act like villains. They don't act like bad guys. They didn't do anything heelish. They didn't cheat. They didn't use weapons. They didn't flip off the crowd. I'm not saying flip off the crowd, but they didn't, ignore the crowd, give the crowd the business. They didn't cheat. They didn't, trap a guy in a corner, have both of them tag team behind the referee's back. They didn't do anything heelish whatsoever. They just wrestled a normal match. In fact, had those vignettes not aired and had not Corey Graves made some kind of comment, oh, they've got a different attitude, I would not have known anything changed with them. I would have, if Corey Graves hadn't said that one sentence and those repeated that same vignette had not aired, I never would have known the Vaudevillains were heels because they did not act like it. Of course, they got a quick win over Hugo, Knox, and Tucker Knight with the whirling dervish. Let me touch briefly on Hugo, Knox, and Tucker Knight. This was like an odd couple. I know that these are guys that are training right now with WWE NXT down the Performance Center, but these two guys could not be more fucking mismatched. Hugo Knox, man, I agree with Corey Graves. The guy looked like a fucking action figure. I mean, this guy was, dude, there's like in shape, there's ripped, and then there's what the fuck, bro. Hugo Knox was what the fuck, bro. I mean, it's like, I don't even know what the fuck his workout is. I mean, he had muscles. I mean, dude, pick up like an old He-Man action figure, and I'm good. Well, hell, wait a minute. Some of you in the internet infantry don't even know who He-Man is. I'm talking like the old one. I'm not talking the new. I'm talking the fucking old school 80s one. Go find one of them, or hell, Google it. Google it. We got fucking Google now. Google an old He-Man action figure from the 80s. That is exactly what fucking Hugo Knox looked like. Do not be surprised if he makes a quick jump up to the main roster, because I promise you right now, if that guy is over 6 feet tall, Vince McMahon, Kevin Dunn, they can completely and totally masturbate to this guy. And for that sole and simple fact of McMahon and Dunn being able to masturbate to his photos, he's going to the main roster and they're going to push the hell out of him. I believe he's a former soccer player or football player, however you want to put it over there. Wow. I mean, I will say this: impressive physique. I mean, it's like, I'm like seriously going to like thinking about calling the guy and be like, Hugo, what's your workout routine, bro? Help me out. What kind of supplements you taking? Because if I didn't know any better, I was thinking he might be getting a little extra help. Don't read in between that. And then Tucker Knight, man. I mean, you go from a guy who is like fucking look like he's chiseled out of fucking stone. I mean, it's just like a physique that I can't. I mean, I really don't know how the hell he's doing it. I mean, it's just like he's got muscles where most people don't even have fucking muscles. He's got muscles on top of muscles, and then they have Tucker Knight, who's got man boobs. Moobs. He's got a gut and saggy man boobs. Now I know. I know LK's probably having a shit fit over this if he actually watched, because he did actually did a whole video with Coco about about being in shape and wrestlers and out of shape guys. Dude, he would have had a fucking field day with Tucker Knight, man, because Tucker Knight had fucking gut and man boob moobs. So these two could not be more mismatched. So I expect to see more. If I know WWE like I think I do, get ready to see more Hugo Knox and Tucker Knight to be the next guy they let go on the behind the scenes show. Let's see. Next, I'm going to skip over some of the backstage stuff. Next, we had a women's match. We had Emma taking on Santana Garrett. In my opinion, this match went way too long. This thing was like over 5 minutes. I don't know what the official time was, but this thing went way over 5. Santana Garrett, I believe she's the NWA Women's Champion. Emma, that naughty little Aussie girl who, by the way, Emma, if you're watching this, I need more Tasted to Neil videos. Yes, I do. I need more recipes. She had a good recipe for peanut butter and jelly French toast, which is amazing. She also had like this recipe for like these egg muffins, like for breakfast. Those things are awesome. She had like a different way to make strawberries. She had like a healthy way to make spaghetti with actually using spaghetti squash as noodles. So if you're even even like white chili, like using turkey. It was, oh man, it was fucking good. And then she did one where she baked a cake from scratch for Xavier Woods, which go check it out. It's on YouTube, Taste of Deal. But if you can hear me, Emma, I know you're a heel, but don't like be holding out on me, girl. Don't be holding out on me. I need more Taste of Tennille episodes. I need more recipes, girl. Come on, help a brother out. She throws Santana Garrett around the ring. I'm really not a huge fan of the hair pulling, especially when it comes to women matches. Yeah, I know, like, women heels, they'll pull, the face's hair. But I just think that's so amateurish right now, and plus that's way too much like the Fabulous Moolah days. I think those are some days they need to get rid of. That type of mentality, that type of mindset where you do that hair pulling snapmare takeover, slaps, schoolgirl roll ups. That's just something I wish, at least down in the NXT levels, they would completely get rid of. I think it's just a new era right now. A women's run. Speaking of that, I believe we're going into Women's History Month. I believe that's what March is, because apparently everybody's got their own fucking month now. I don't know when chubby, fat internet reviewers are going to get their month, but when they do, you better believe we'll be ready. Got that, infantry? We'll be ready. So when is fat pasty white internet reviewer month? I don't know. When would that be? September? I have no clue. Anyway, Emma gets the win following the Emma lock. Then we go backstage. William Regal is meeting up with Ava Marie and Nia Jax. He's telling them, like, you know what, you two are stars. You need to be treated as such. And they're like, oh, well, finally somebody gets. He goes, yeah, and you know what? Your next match, it's going to be a tag team match against Bayley and her tag team partner, Asuka. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go introduce our newest acquisition. Before we get to the newest acquisition here, I like the backstage segment, and I kind of like the build-up they're doing with Asuka and Bayley, because they've got this whole thing is, that this is coming, and I like how they're doing the storyline. Is like whenever they talk about Asuka in front of Bayley, her whole demeanor, everything just changes. I don't know if you guys are noticing that, but I noticed it last week. She's just got this look of like, this is coming. I know it's coming. There's no avoiding it. I'm scared to death, but I know I have to go in there anyway. I mean, the girl goes from like really happy to like, oh my God, like she's about to walk out in front of a fucking firing squad. That's the way that it's looking. And so I like the build up for that. I'm just hoping maybe she can eke out a win, at least one win against Asuka before she drops the title and goes up to the main roster. Just something to kind of end it, because I kind of don't like the idea of her being scared to death and then just. I mean, I'm cool with Asuka winning the championship. It's not going to break my heart if Asuka wins the championship. I think she's going to be a great champion. I think she's going to have a great reign. I just want something, I want Bayley to end her NXT career on a high note. I want her to end it on a high. I'm not saying she has to retire, vacate the championship. They have to hold a tournament. I mean, no, she should do the right thing and drop it. But I'd at least like her to end it on a high note. Maybe she overcomes some kind of fear or something, because I think when she goes to the main roster, it's going to be a crapshoot, because I know I've talked about this before on the show with Bayley, who, and by the way, if you're wondering why I'm talking about Bayley, because Bayley's my fucking favorite wrestler. Fuck the world, kiss my ass. I love her. The reason I'm talking about this is just because when she goes up there, I think people have pretty much just said she's either going to be a great success or she's going to completely flop. There's going to be no in between. She's going to be either like the female John Cena, or she's going to be a complete, total, absolute bust. So I'm just worried about how she's going to be portrayed, because if they can fuck up Charlotte, Sasha Banks, and Becky Lynch, God only knows what the hell they're going to do to Bayley. So I want her to at least eke out some kind of win originally against Asuka before dropping the title to her. I want to end it on a high note. Anyways, we go out to introduces the new acquisition, who turned out to be, to no one's surprise, Austin Aries, because if you read the internet back in January, in the middle of January, you already knew this. They bring him out, new intro music. He's got a cool new T-shirt. He goes out to the ring, which was kind of cool. And then this whole fucking segment gets ruined. The whole fucking segment gets ruined because, and I love you, bro, but you fucked up this entire segment. William Regal. Whoa, people are like, whoa, wait a minute. Didn't the other guy? I'm going to get to that in just 1 second. Austin Aries goes out to the ring. He's taking his time. He's shaking hands. He's high-fiving people. He's getting his moment. And then he gets jumped from behind by Baron Corbin, and Corbin beats the shit out of him. And to Austin's credit, man, A double sells it like a motherfucker. Corbin just beats the shit out of him, throws him into the electronic board at ringside. He's just beating the crap out. Hits him with the end of days on the floor. Rips off Austin Aries' T-shirt. And meanwhile, the whole time while this whole mugging's going on, fucking Corbin is just putting the fucking boots to him. There's fucking William Regal. William Regal's not fucking emoting. He's just in the ring like, oh, okay, I guess Corbin's beating the shit out of Aries. Fuck. Yeah, we need to hurry up, wrap this segment up. We got to get to the next segment here. I'm like, dude, and I'm disappointed because this isn't Raw. This is NXT. There needs to be, like, oh my God. If this was happening, like if I'm running the show, if I'm William Regal and I'm running the show and I'm introducing like a new acquisition, I got this new independent talent coming in, it's like, hey, I'm proud to introduce our newest acquisition. Here he is, big surprise. Okay, I can understand that. You want to, save it, build up the anticipation, then you bring him out, and there he is, and the crowd's popping, and then all of a sudden Corbin starts beating him up. You're like, look, I know I'm like the GM, but I'm also, I'm not an active competitor, but I'm also a GM. I'm not challenging the guy to a wrestling match. I want him to stop beating the shit out of somebody I just fucking hired. Come to think of it, has anybody on NXT actually had a clean debut? Because as far back as I can remember Hideo Itami, his introduction got interrupted by the Ascension. Asuka, she got interrupted by Emma and Dana Brooke. I have to say, has anybody really had a clean debut on NXT? Anyway, that's a different point. Sorry, we get sidetracked here at KocoSports.com over here on WrestleAM. But anyway, so there's William Regal just watching all this shit go down. He's not making any. He's right fucking there, and he's not like in the fucking back in the fucking office. There's a chance he didn't see it. No, he isn't like in the crowd. He's in the fucking popcorn stand. He's not in the restroom. No, he is right there in the fucking ring. The whole mugging is not 10 fucking feet in front of him, and he's just standing there like, okay. And then Corbin tears off Austin Aries' shirt, runs it up and throws it in his face and says, an eye for an eye. And I'm like, Regal, why are you not kicking the shit out of Corbin? Okay, or at least stopping him, because then now comes the referees, who are like the fucking cavalry and those old fucking westerns. They're about 10 minutes fucking late. Anyway, they're coming out, no. Aries doesn't want to like, oh, just take your time, Austin. Oh yeah, that's great, guys. That's fucking great. And it's like, Regal, why aren't you firing Corbin? Why aren't you firing him, finding him, doing something? I know we probably have to watch next week to see what the fallout is from this. But I'm like, look, if you're gonna sell this as real and pretend it's real, here's the thing. Have your guy emote, have like your GM emote, and then go in there and try to stop the guy from getting the shit beat out of him. I'm just saying. But the whole segment, it would have been better had that happened. And I know that Corbin, needed to do all that, but you could have had him. Here's what you could have done to save it. You could have had him do everything he's doing. He hits Aries from behind, throws him into the board. And when you have William Regal, like, what the fuck, and get out of the ring, go up to confront Corbin, and Corbin, is still focused on Aries, and he, pushes William Regal. William Regal, falls backwards, maybe hits his head on the ring post or falls back into the stairs, and he's not so quick to get up. Then it makes sense why he's able to get more shots in on Aries and hit into days. But instead, there's William Regal. Okay, he's beating up Austin Aries. This is bad. Maybe I should do something. You really shouldn't do that. Shouldn't do that, Baron. Austin, you may want to defend yourself. Okay, no, guess that's not going to work. Oh, well, thank God. Here come the referees. Oh, I'm angry. Oh, you threw that shirt in my face. No, my one weakness. Okay, sorry. or as Coco would say, any nuts. Next, we had another squash match. Elias Samson defeated Steve Cutler. I want to see more out of Elias Samson now. We've kind of established the fact that he's a drifter. We've established the fact that he's got a mean streak. We've established the fact that you really don't know anything about him. Well, we need to start knowing some things about him here, other than he beats a bunch of no-name jobbers, and that's it. I'm very confused about how they're putting him over, because I assume from the way they've been presenting him, he's a heel. And I say that because he kind of gets slammed by Corey Graves, and Corey Graves is like the heel announcer. You know, he tends to pull more for the bad guys. So I really don't know how to react when it's, Todd Phillips or whatever, putting over Elias Samson, and Corey Graves, they're fucking burying him. It's like, oh, well, he's got $6 in his guitar now. Ooh, he's doing good for himself. I don't know anything about this guy. And I'm like, okay, is he a bad guy? Should I be, or not? Because Graves is ripping on him. Should I be cheering him? I'm confused with the presentation. I'm absolutely confused with it. I know they're giving him the Baron Corbin treatment, but just like Baron Corbin, Samson's gonna have to show me something. I mean, put him in a tag match. Put him, get him against a little bit tougher of an opponent. Give me something here. Maybe that's something that they're saving up for the takeover special. They're gonna have a match where he could beat what's his name? That fucking Alex Riley. He could beat hell yeah, he could beat the shit out of Alex Riley. I mean, just give me somebody. Put him in a storyline. Give me something other than he just goes out there, beats up some no-name guy in about 3 minutes, and hits that swinging neck breaker for the win. Then we had a backstage segment where the Hype Bros talk about how they lost. Now they're focused. They're gonna, get their revenge on the Vaudevillains. They're gonna know what hit them. And then meanwhile, Aiden English and Simon Gotch go all pedo bear, and they just kind of literally just creep out of the background. They have like this, sneer. So, by the way, I'm just going to stick by my comments earlier. Even with this, that's not really doing anything heelish. They heard somebody talking shit about them. They stuck their head out. When they were done, they're like, okay, we're going to talk shit now, motherfucker? Okay, yeah, we could totally do that. Yeah, I'm going to kick your ass. That's something even a good guy would do. It's like, if he would have jumped him from behind afterwards, that would have been heelish. That would have let me know that they were bad guys. But no, they let them talk shit about them, and then when they walked off, that's when they popped out like, oh, we heard you. We'll settle our score with you in the ring, sir. Then we had the main event, Finn Balor versus Neville. This was actually a pretty good match. I like the way the build up for it. I knew it was a little short. They wanted to have two of the most successful champions in NXT history. Of course, the current champion, and then Neville, a former champion, who he had a pretty good title run for a while. I think Finn Balor may be approaching record territory here, because I believe Neville was the longest reigning champion. I think he hit it for 230 some odd days. Now I know Finn Balor's been the champion actually this weekend, as a matter of fact. Yeah, this Friday will make exactly 8 months he's been the champion. I will say this: these two did not phone it in. Balor really put over Neville. Neville really sold for Balor. There was a sick fucking spot where Neville came charging in on Finn, and Finn just hoisted him up, and Neville, to his fucking credit, I mean, my God, it looked like he dropped him off a fucking skyscraper, because he went all the way over the top rope, came down, smacked you could hear him smack the stairs, and just pancaked flat on the floor. And I was like, holy shit, I thought he was legitimately fucking hurt for a while. They teased the Red Arrow. They teased a lot of near falls, but ultimately Finn Balor, he took it to the air. He hit the coup de grace, then picked him up and stuck him with a Bloody Sunday, which I hope is like his new finishing combo now. I think that's more believable than just a straight up coup de grace. Just the coup de grace, then followed up by the Bloody Sunday. I think that should be a great finishing maneuver. And plus, I would be remiss to not mention that they did talk about Bullet Club briefly, but they did talk about it. They, I think it was Rich Brennan, or was it Tom Phillips? I think it was Tom Phillips actually, who said that it was like, hey, there's rumor, there's rumors that his friends from the old, talk about the Bullet Club is, friends are coming, with what the rumors are saying, and I just thought it kind of blew my mind that they're addressing internet rumors like that. Of course, I believe Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson officially done with New Japan. They wrapped up at Honor Rising after night 2 of that event. I think Gallows is signed, sealed, delivered. I think they're waiting on the machine gun now, or I could have that backwards. But I like that, and I like the idea of that. But anyway, it was a good match. Finn Balor gets the win. They shake hands, raise hands in the middle of the ring. Then we go backstage to Rich Brennan. He was interviewing Samoa Joe and Sami Zayn. They were both side by side. They were talking about how they were feeling about going into their next match for 2 out of 3 falls. The winner will be the new #1 contender. I thought Samoa Joe did a great job as a heel. Zayn did a great job as the face. I love how Joe talked about how, it's like, oh, well, Sami Zayn's the most ungrateful, person ever, because I'm the only reason he still has a career is because I came in interjected. And then Zayn was like, well, you seem to make your living riding off other people's coattails. I mean, it was good. It was really good. As LK would say, it was a good hook for next week. So that's what I'm interested. That's what I'm interested in seeing. I want to see, finally what's going on. And remember, this was done good. This, unlike the women's match over on Raw, this was a double pin done right. And speaking of Sami Zayn, there is a report, and this is a rumor, and this comes from the Wrestling Observer newsletter. And again, take this for what it's worth. Take it with a grain of salt, however you want to say it. There's a report going around that saying that Sami Zayn is scheduled for a match at WrestleMania 32. And he's supposed to wrestle on the card at WrestleMania 32. Doesn't say in what capacity, but he's supposed to wrestle, and then he's supposed to follow up with the European tour that goes right afterwards. It's looking like maybe this is his main roster call-up. Which I think is long overdue. I think his call up got spoiled with that shoulder injury in Canada last spring, and he spent several months on the shelf. I'm interested. I guess maybe I'm saying this now because it's Mania and because they kind of left things unfinished. I think it's Sami Zayn. It should be Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens at Mania. I mean, would you not want to see that at Mania? I know there's really not that much time for a build-up, but I feel like Zayn's Owens. I feel like those two are like gladiators. They're like immortal gladiators because it's like they're destined to do this for the rest of eternity. These two guys have feuded for years around the world. They feuded in Ring of Honor. They feuded at NXT. Why not take it to the biggest stage of them all? Why not take that feud to Mania? I'd love this. I would love to see that. I'd love to see it on the big stage, especially when you cut the cord and just let these guys loose. That would just be absolutely amazing. Those two work amazing together. WWE, make that happen. Oh yeah, you're not in the business of being awesome. All right, so make sure to get your questions and comments in. I got the chat room is open. I've got to look around here, and I've got to plug a few more things here. I want to tell everybody to be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Also, KocoSports.com, KocoSports.net. It takes you to the same place. It's your home for combat sports. It's where the world comes to kick ass, and most importantly, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. Also, be sure to check us out at ProWrestling.me. That's right. It's not a .com. It's ProWrestling.me. Basically, it's a pro wrestling pub type atmosphere for professional wrestling fans. On there, we've got news, gossip on there. We talk about the brackets for the New Japan Cup. And I will say this, you get a lot of unique stuff when you're dealing with the Coco crew here. As far as I know, we're the only internet wrestling radio show that actively seeks out alternatives to WWE. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. I know people bitch about WWE, but like, oh, what is this other stuff here? I'm scared to watch this. No, we try to at least break this stuff down for you, review it, see if it's worth your time. We review Ring of Honor, we review New Japan, we review Evolve, we review Lucha Underground, we review all this stuff, and we do it on 3 different continents. Of course, I'm here in North America, LK over in Europe, he's over in England, Coco, he's over in Japan, so that's over in Asia. So 3 continents, 3 jackasses, 3 different opinions. We even try to hit up some of the European leagues, courtesy of LK. Be sure, be sure to check it out. I just can't stand that, people complain about WWE, but they really don't want to give alternatives a chance. So we try to make it as easy to help you transition into it. Let's see what else is going on here. Okay, no more questions, which I don't really blame you guys, because I had to. This is actually take 2 of a show. I actually did one, but the sound, for whatever reason, like the sound was showing up on my end, but when I hit air, it just was not working. So I started over, and I don't think I carried my audience over. So for whatever reason, it didn't work. But anyway, bottom line, check us out, prowrestling.me. Sign up. It's absolutely positively 100% free. We've got a lot of good stuff coming up. Let's see. Sometime within the next 48 hours, either LK, Coco, or myself, we're gonna review Lucha Underground. We're hoping somebody will take a look at TNA for us. We've got SmackDown coming up. Of course, we'll start all over again with the Raw review. We're going to try to sneak in a Ring of Honor review following their 14th anniversary. By the way, we've got a review of that pay-per-view up. Coco broke it down. That's over on our YouTube page. We've also got broke down the New Japan Cup, the matches and the brackets. Coco gives his predictions on that. It's a lot of fun, so be sure to check it out. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm stammering, I'm stuttering, I'm tired. I'm getting ready to go to bed. So in the meantime, be sure to check us out. And this is Boom Boom, and from our partners LK and Coco, I am over.